Always something a little special about going against number one picks. You, of course, have seen 20 of them since you were. What did you make of Vic tonight?
I said it from the beginning that he's special, and he has an unbelievable coach that's going to make sure that he does things the right way, play the game the right way, and he's going to continue to develop. But he's already special, but he's going to continue to get better and better and better, each and every game, each and every year that he steps on this floor.
Austin, when LeBron's done, who will be the next face of the league?
It has to be Victor. I mean, when we talk about from a standpoint of media, publicity, and how much time and effort we put into this guy, the hype, we talk about before the draft, I've never seen a player covered in modern day era other than LeBron James than Victor.
The 7'4" man has arrived and he's here to terrorize the league for years to come. And if you're a fan of a team in the West, good luck. It's time to get that championship right now before he gets a team built around him. Me personally, I don't have to worry about him. We're in the East. I'm safe. I don't have to worry about going against this guy 3 to 4 times a year with the possibility of meeting him in the playoffs. Though, to be honest, I might not even have to worry about the Hawks making the playoffs anytime soon, but anyways. Victor Wembanyama has been on a tear right now, and he's currently climbing up as one of the better bigs in this league. How do I put it? You may have seen YouTube titles like, "Why You Should Be Afraid of This Guy." That applies here. Over his last 4 games, he's averaging 24 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, nearly 6 blocks, and 3 steals, joining Hakeem Olajuwon and David Robinson as the only players to average those numbers in a 4-game span. Within this span of games, he's had a 10-block triple-double, a 5x5 game, and he almost had another one where he was short off of 1 assist. I think it's pretty fair to say that he's not only lived up to the hype, but he's also surpassed his expectations. From the beginning of the season, he showed flashes of what he could be as he adjusted to the league, and he's now up to averaging 20 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and 3 blocks. He also leads the league in stocks, which is steals and blocks combined, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's named to an all-defensive team, which you wouldn't usually expect from a rookie. We last saw Evan Mobley make all-defensive first team in 2022 during his second year, and before him, the last rookie to make an all-defensive first team selection in his first or second season was Tim Duncan. With the all-NBA teams being positionless this year, there is the possibility that Wemby could be the first rookie to make an all-defensive first team if you don't count the ABA. Whether that'll happen or not, I don't know, considering the Spurs' lack of overall team success. With Wemby, one thing about him coming to the league, if his offense wasn't able to translate, then at least he should be a good defender. The fact that both sides have translated is scary enough. Right now, he ranks 7th in defensive EPM, which if you don't know, is basically a player's estimated defensive impact per 100 possessions, which per 100 possessions means it accounts for the overall pace. In terms of rim protection, he's at a level where players have to question what type of shots they can take around the basket. One example here against the Lakers is when Austin Reeves drives, fakes a pass in, and while that makes Wemby react, he's easily able to recover and send the ball out of bounds. What's so crazy about this is the fact that he can easily catch up and block shots even if players are able to get past him, leveraging both his height and wingspan to send shots off the backboard. On the offensive end, just because of his height and ability to put the ball on the floor and create for himself, he's able to open up the defense since they have to be so wary about him, since he can get a shot over pretty much anyone. With this extra defensive attention he receives, the most surprising part of his arsenal on offense for me is his passing ability. While he definitely could cut down on his turnovers, he's able to make good bounce passes off of slip screens and sling the ball quickly away from the defense for easy baskets. Of course, since he's a rookie, he's not completely perfect. I mean, nobody is. Right now, he's averaging more turnovers than assists. His ball security, along with his attempts to fit in passes in small spaces, has definitely had an impact on that, and he can seem a little out of control at times. On offense, I think he still needs to find a more methodical approach with how he attempts to score, because he can seem a little wonky at times when choosing what moves he wants to use when getting around his defender. As a screener, there's room for improvement when it comes to setting hard screens to get the ball handler more room to work with, because that'll definitely be a point of emphasis when the Spurs get a solidified point guard to work with Wemby. But I can see all these things improving over time. It is his rookie season after all. You can already see the improvement from the beginning of the season to now in February, as he becomes more comfortable in his role, and not only has his efficiency improved, but so has his rebounding numbers, especially since he switched from playing the 4 to the 5.
You're also the only other person, the second player with 5 blocks and 5 steals in consecutive games. The other person was Michael Jordan in 1987.
I mean, it's I wonder if he did it in wins, not losses, but it's, to me, it's secondary. Hopefully, in the future we can look back and think this is a good performance, but it's as of today, I can't be satisfied with a loss.
Outside of basketball, you can see how seriously he takes the game from a professional standpoint, along with the mentality he brings as a player, which makes me confident and excited to see his progression heading into his sophomore season. Even the competitiveness he brings into the game is very evident. Looking back at the last game between the Thunder and the Spurs, despite them getting blown out, him and Chet were really going at it in the fourth quarter, and we all know that throughout their careers they'll constantly be compared to one another, and a potential rivalry like this can bring a lot of energy to the NBA with the current lack of rivalries right now. All I can say is to appreciate both players as they are, instead of hating on one or the other, because at times, fans can go a little too deep when it comes to hating a player, and it leads to them failing to appreciate the good basketball that's right in front of us. Going into the offseason, I know some people have ideas of pairing him up with Trae Young, who's in a situation of constant mediocrity in Atlanta and could work really well with Wemby, since he's one of the best lob throwers in the league. When it comes to the Hawks, who previously traded multiple firsts in exchange for DeJounte Murray, I'm sure that if trade negotiations were to go down, they'll be asking for a mixture of their picks along with some key players on the Spurs. Keldon Johnson could be one of those guys, but whether the Hawks won or not, it's a different story. He's having a down year compared to his previous season and has even been pushed to the bench, so they may want a Devin Vassell attached to their picks. The thing is, they don't have any leverage when it comes to negotiations, since they'd basically be asking for their own picks back. Maybe even a Darius Garland, who fans aren't sure can fully fit together with Donovan Mitchell. The performance of their duo in the playoffs this year may lead to the Cavaliers throwing Garland's name around to teams around the league, and he could possibly be another option as well. I don't personally think the Spurs front office is looking to rush the rebuild though. They can likely go into the offseason with a top 5 pick and possibly select a guard to see if they complement playing with Wemby. I'm not in the know when it comes to the prospects in the draft, but I feel like this is the direction they'll take. You have to take into account the overall structure of the team instead of just 2 players as well. Unless they go under a complete overhaul, I don't think they'll be in a position to be good regardless of whether they trade for one of these guys or not. Right now, the Spurs aren't good both offensively or defensively, and I think Pop and the other staff are still evaluating the current guys on the roster. But maybe by year 3 or year 4, that may be the time where the Spurs are in a position where they're looking to contend and they have the right players on the team. So they'll be looking to attempt to pair a star with Wemby, and even if the 2 I previously named aren't available, they'll still look for another star to pair up with him. If you have any thoughts, leave them down below, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.